Update entitled Sister-in-Law Wants Custody of My Baby. Original post. Background: me 36 female, sister-in-law 40 female. I've been married to her brother for over 10 years, and there's always been some jealousy and resentment from her. She always felt like he had a life she wanted. Not necessarily with her brother, but the marriage, family, job stability, etc. I have 3 kids, 10 female, 8 male, and 3-month-old baby girl. She got married last year, and they decided to start trying for a baby. But she was unfortunately told that she can't have children naturally. She was understandably devastated, and the family comforted her as best as we could. We recently had a family dinner, and in the middle of it, she says, "OP, I think it's really unfair that you got to have 3 kids and I can't have any. Your baby is my last chance to raise a child, so I think you should give her to me during the week so I can create a motherly bond with her, and you can have her on weekends." Before I could respond, the entire table erupted with everyone talking at once, so I took my older kids upstairs. When I got back to the dining room, her husband was asking what the hell is wrong with her, and why would she even think to ask that? She was trying to justify herself when I asked them to leave. I also said that she's no longer welcomed at my house or around my children until she gets help. She started screaming that I don't deserve my life or my children, and that I stole her baby from her. Her husband and mother-in-law kept apologizing and dragged her out of the house, still crying and screaming. Now my kids want to know why their aunt wants to take the baby. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Jesus, stay safe. At least the rest of the family recognize her craziness. I had the same thought. Usually in stories like this, the family backs the crazy one because they are the golden child, etc. It's because the sister-in-law showed her butt, and OP has the actual grandkids. I don't know, my family would not support me if I pulled that with my sister-in-law. I think most normal people would be horrified. I don't think it's just because OP has the grandkids. I hope that my family would support a family member like that, in a sense that I hope we would all be very clear with, you need help urgently and we're all going to support you if you get psychiatric help. Also, don't come close to the kids anytime soon. But then again, we are a tight-knit family for the most part, and if one of my loved ones went off the rails like that, I'd be very worried. Tough love, all the way, but also try to get them help. But definitely back OP in the situation and remove sister-in-law from the house. Basically support OP, but also maybe not instant drop your daughter/wife if your husband/mother-in-law, and instead talk to her into getting help. If she refuses help, then it's a different story. If she ever goes to daycare, make sure they know she is not allowed to pick up your daughter. I would also contact the school your other children attend just in case. She sounds unhinged. Yes, the entire family agrees she needs help, but still be careful, because you never know what she might do. If you don't already have one, get a video doorbell. She's not in any of the pickup lists, but I'll take the advice and let the school and daycare know that she isn't to be in contact with my kids. Give them recent photos of sister-in-law so they know what she looks like. Edit. I've been reading the comments, but it's too many to reply to, so here are a few points. 1. We have a security system and cameras already installed and no one has keys to our house. 2. I will not be able to get a restraining order, as this one incident isn't enough to justify it. 3. My husband and I spoke to the older kids about it the same night, and we'll be having another talk with them to reinforce that sister-in-law is not a safe person anymore. 4. Our country does not have the right to bear arms, and I also have no interest in getting a firearm. 5. I'll be informing the school and daycare of the issue and giving them her photo. Now for the update. So my sister-in-law has been admitted to a psychiatric facility. In the comments of my previous post, I mentioned that her husband was seeking out counseling for them to deal with infertility prior to this incident. After the incident, he sought out a psychiatrist rather than a counselor, and they had a first session last week. I didn't get the specifics of what happened, but basically she made some statements that the psychiatrist felt indicated she was a danger to others, my baby and me, and she was placed under an involuntary hold. My brother-in-law has been nothing but apologetic through this entire ordeal, and he kept her away from us since the incident. Mother-in-law was staying with them to keep an eye on sister-in-law. She tried to leave the house in the middle of the night to see her baby. Also, brother-in-law found her researching how to induce lactation, and she said it was to make sure she can feed a baby properly when I come to my senses and give her up. From what brother-in-law has said, seeing me breastfeed is apparently what triggered the entire episode. It was the first time sister-in-law was around a baby for any length of time, and she was holding her when she got fuzzy because she was hungry. Naturally, it took her to feed her, and this made sister-in-law feel inadequate because it triggered a thought that she would never be able to do that, which led to the events of the last post. I'm grateful for all the advice that was offered on my last post, as some of it was really helpful. We won't be moving, as it's not feasible for us at the moment, but we have taken extra steps with security, both at home and a kid's school/daycare. This whole thing is taking a toll on the family, but mother-in-law, father-in-law, and brother-in-law are taking care of sister-in-law. And my husband and I are focused on ensuring the safety of our immediate family and minimizing the effect on the kids as much as we can. I'm glad your family took the initiative and got the help and the treatment your sister-in-law needs. And it's a good thing the entire family was keeping an eye on her. Otherwise, this would have been a different update. Unfortunately, it's going to be a while before sister-in-law is well enough to go out into society. Continue to keep your family safe. I'm sorry this happened to you and your children. I sadly know people with these kind of delusions, and I can tell you they don't let them out easily. And if they do, they need to be tracked and watched. I've also heard they can get some sort of house arrest. I just pray OP's family are safe and sister-in-law is taken care of. I'm actually wowed at sister-in-law's husband for not dumping her and actually helping keep her away from OP and getting sister-in-law the help she needs. The folks did the right thing protecting your kids, and your family did the right thing getting sister-in-law help. Sometimes reality is just too much for a mind to bear. Your sister-in-law had a psychotic break and will likely be unwell for a long time. Even after she is on a successful medication regimen, she shouldn't have access to you or the kids. One missed med or one trigger can initiate a relapse. I'd also point out, I used the word initiate rather than cause. You breastfeeding your baby did not cause this. It may have initiated the initial break, but it did not cause this. You were not at fault. It's kind of heartbreaking and sad. Hope she gets well soon, but you need to keep your family safe. I really do hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, but please remain vigilant, OP. In North America at least, our system is so overloaded that people who need to be held longer are often released because there just isn't the space/resources. I hope your family has resources to make sure your sister gets the help she needs though, or to remove the niceties and double talk. I hear rich people can set up their relatives in fancy places where they need to be for their mental health. I hope your brother-in-law has the means to do this, for everyone's sake. A 3-day hold is only to start meds. Then they release you. You get no real help, so hopefully your family's vigilant. If she's still a danger to herself or others, they may not release her. I tried to unalive myself and was held for well over 90 days. I spent 30 days in hospital until I could be placed in a proper facility, then an additional 60+ days, which included a stint in physical rehab for the reason I tried to end it, before being placed in a step-down rehab facility. That included intensive mental health assistance, plus meds, until they were assured I was safe. Thank goodness we have a good health insurance. It didn't cost us anything beyond the inpatient confinement fee, which was a fraction of the entire cost. It's been just about 8 years now and the new meds work, so self-ending idea, my intrusive thoughts about self-harm make me recoil in horror and shove them away, just like I should. I'm doing incredibly well now, and things have been especially good lately. Just pointing out that if you are a danger after 3 days, you can and will be held. At least in my state. Your mileage may vary by state and country of residence, as well as availability of services. Next story. Entitled Brother-in-Law with Peter Pan Syndrome. It's long, so too long didn't read. Brother-in-law quit his well-paying job to pursue his dream career. Years later, he is acting like the entire family is responsible for taking care of him and treating his mother poorly for not doing a good enough job. Before I get going, I just want to say I like to think we are good hosts. When we have visitors, we love hosting and always provide snacks, meals, drinks, toiletries, etc. We love having friends and family visit and try to buy things that will make their stay super comfortable. My brother-in-law quit his well-paying job a few years ago to pursue something new and exciting. We were all happy for him, but didn't realize he'd expect us to essentially carry him for years to come. We are all in our 30s for context. Upon starting his new career, brother-in-law didn't renew his lease due to financial reasons. Initially, he kept asking to stay at our apartment, which was a 1,000 square foot 2-bed, 2-bath. My husband and I agreed to a 2-week limit for his stays. Then we changed it to a 1-week limit after a while because it was too much. Too little space, too little alone time, too much unpredictability. He would go out at night and not come home, or come home in the middle of the night and wake us up, or leave after we went to sleep but forget to lock the door. This dynamic just wasn't healthy for us. Due to the frequency and length of visits, we told brother-in-law that if he plans to stay with us, he needs to buy his own food. He agreed, but then wouldn't buy an adequate amount of food and would ask for our leftovers or access to the food in the pantry and fridge that was due to expire soon. It seemed fine at first. He was kind of like a human garbage disposal. But it got old quick when he started asking to eat non-perishables, and at this point was not contributing to groceries in any way. It's hard to say no to someone, especially your family, when they're literally asking for food because they are hungry. But he eats a lot, and while we are comfortable, we have a budget that we try to stick to, and feeding an extra person is a lot. On top of that, he never did dishes or cleaned up after himself, even causing a mess. So even him eating things that were potentially going to go to waste ended up being more work for us. After going along with this for longer than I'd cared to admit, we started telling him no to our food entirely. Then he started watching us eat dinner and asking to finish off the food in our plates that we didn't finish, since that wouldn't be going into meal prep containers and would be going into trash. I let him do this, but it felt bizarre and invasive and made me feel inhumane. I was exhausted because I felt like a horrible person. I felt like we should just let him eat with us at this point. In retrospect, he should have been respectful of our boundaries, but at the time, it was such an unusual experience for me. I just couldn't figure it out. My husband and I had a conversation about it and put an end to the visits entirely. He ended up signing a lease somewhere, so now it's been a year or two since this was an issue. I had honestly forgotten about how frustrating it all was until this weekend. Now that the lease he signed is up, he's staying with my mother-in-law, his mom. Mother-in-law and brother-in-law visited this weekend because it was brother-in-law's birthday and we live in a city where all his friends live. When they arrived, brother-in-law complained for about an hour about the free accommodations at mother-in-law's. This was all in front of her, and I could tell it was hurting her feelings. She just bought a new house and was excited to talk about it with me. But every time she'd share something about it, he'd offer a counterpoint as to why it was terrible. My husband and I tried to change the subject. We all started discussing the drive up, where did they stop to eat, what did they listen to, etc. Just trying to move on. Brother-in-law then complains that mother-in-law, who drove him 5+ hours to get here because he doesn't have a car, was trying to talk to him too much on the ride up. I say, well, when you're tired and driving long distance, it's nice to have someone to talk to. My husband adds that he understands because he also just likes to relax in the car. But that whenever I'm driving, he likes to make sure that I'm happy. And when he's driving, we get to do what he wants. Brother-in-law says that none of us understand the stress he's under. Spoiler alert, we all work stressful full-time jobs, and that all he does all day is answer questions, and he's tired of it. Spoiler alert again, every functioning adult also has this issue. So apparently for the car ride, brother-in-law watched television on his cell phone with the volume on the entire time while his mother drove. This weekend went by fine-ish after the first night. Brother-in-law invited several friends over to our house, which I wasn't thrilled about because our new house is still pretty small. They were nice though. We asked brother-in-law to pick up drinks if he was bringing friends over, as we weren't prepared for so many people, which he did not. Mother-in-law expressed frustration to my husband and me about brother-in-law not contributing to groceries, not being clean, etc., but I think she was trying to keep things cool, as it was his birthday. When it was time to leave, brother-in-law made mother-in-law wait an extra hour so he could finish his TV show. Then he asked her to help him pack his suitcase. Then he insulted her car. I had a conversation with my husband about it. It's not my family, so not my place to say anything to mother-in-law. But holy cow, what a weekend. It's brought up all my previous feelings, and I hate that my mother-in-law's dealing with this. I feel like the entitlement is just beyond anything I've ever experienced. My husband is already working on how he's going to address it, so I don't want to beat a dead horse with him. Just needed to vent a little more than I already did. Mother-in-law needs to stop enabling him. 100%, and she is not a pushover, so I'm surprised she let it get this far. I should have mentioned she is making him leave at the end of the month. Good for her, and do not let him even stay a night at your home. Yeah, I was just rage venting and forgot to mention that. My husband understandably loves his brother, so I have to be delicate with my anger. I would be so upset if roles were reversed, even if his complaints were true. We all have blind spots for our family. I'm glad he at least sees it too. I can relate. My brother-in-law treats my amazing mother-in-law horribly, and it is so frustrating. Right, I know not everyone has good parents, but I also know he does. And the older I've gotten, the more I've realized how valuable our time is with our parents. Mother-in-law apparently created this monster. She needs to deal with it. I mentioned in another comment that I forgot to say she's kicking him out at the end of the month. So that's good.